I'm Ezra Dyer for Yahoo Autos, and this is a 1939 Ford. Now, this car was beloved by bootleggers because it could look outwardly stock. You'd have a little something extra under the hood and plenty of room in back for the hooch. It's got a little more punch in what it came with in 1939. I would argue that the best car for bootlegging today is not even a car, it's a Jeep. Okay, so what makes a Grand Cherokee SRT8? For starters, you've got the 470 horsepower, 6.4 liter Hemi that they put in all the good stuff. People who don't know cars will just see a Grand Cherokee. People who do know cars will see those gigantic Brembo brake calipers and say, wait a minute, that's the Grand Cherokee that does 160 miles an hour. Big dual exhaust, which located on the outboard sides now. The first SRT8 Grand Cherokee had center exhaust, which looked cool, but then you couldn't have a trailer hitch. So this actually has a tow package under there. I mean, you fold the seats down, I really think you could fit a good deal of moonshine in here. Among its unique performance features for the Grand Cherokee, there is a 0 to 60 timer in the dash. When I got into this car, it said best time for 0 to 60, 4.2 seconds. That was presumably on the pavement. I just made a run in 5.7 with no pavement. My theory about this being an ideal bootlegger car, it looks like a regular Grand Cherokee to the layman. It is really insanely fast. It's all-wheel drive. Okay, so track mode is interesting because as opposed to just traction control off, which is not really off, in track mode, it actually lets you get loose. I like it. Track mode is awesome. It should say dirt track mode. The SRT8 competes with your Porsche Cayenne Turbo, Mercedes ML63. It's sort of rare air. It's this class of strange, super pumped up SUVs that do, 160, 170 miles an hour and often have around 500 horsepower. And yet they look fairly innocuous to the layman on the outside. And that holds true for this one too. It's got big rims, it's got big red brake calipers, but most people look at it and just say, yeah, it's a Grand Cherokee. They won't realize what this thing can do. And that, to bring me back around, is what a bootlegger wants. You want a sleeper. You want a car that looks like every other car on the road, but it's got a little more punch when you get after it. I'm just noticing those vents aren't bogus on the hood. Nothing cooler than a real hood scoop, nothing worse than a fake hood scoop. These are real. This is $64,000, which is a lot for a Grand Cherokee. I think it starts at about $60,000, and this one has some options. However, for $64,000, what is going to stick with this? What else is going to do 0 to 60 in the low fours, and then go out in the woods? I think that the modern day Duke boys, they wouldn't drive a Charger, they wouldn't drive a Challenger, they'd drive a Grand Cherokee. Lance and Randy got a shipment to pick up for Uncle Jesse. Just heard it on the CB. Cooter's running interference for us, so we better get going. Lost sheep and shepherd, lost sheep and shepherd!
It's Lance and Randy, running moonshine and trying to steer clear of the law in the old General Grand. Yee-haw!
Grand Cherokee SRT8, best bootlegger car. It's American, it's got a V8, it'll lose most anything on the road, and it'll go out in the woods with a load of hooch in the back. For Yahoo Autos, I'm Ezra Dyer. Hold on!
Whoever said pigs can't fly ain't never told Lance and Randy.